How's it going, people? It is Liam Catterson here, and we are reacting to another episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer with episode number 15 of season 7. Hopefully Spike is feeling like I was at the gym earlier today and is in the mood of some running, because Principal Wood is gonna be after him like no tomorrow after we found out not just the fact that he is the child of a Slayer, but also the Slayer, or one of the two Slayers that Spike killed, as we saw in the flashbacks way back in season 5. So yeah, it's not going to be awkward whatsoever, especially since him, Buffy, and Spike were in the same vicinity in a couple of occasions in the last episode. So yeah, but if there's anyone who's going to try and quell the anger that Principal Wood will have in this episode, it's going to be Buffy, especially since, of course, we're edging closer towards the end, and we don't need this kind of escalation amongst the team. It's a wedge within the Scoobies. So yeah, if there's anyone to put Principal Wood at ease, it's going to be Buffy, especially since them two had a little bit of a thing going on in the last episode. So yeah, but yeah, speaking of the last episode, I would say it was a bit more of a, compared to other episodes, a bit more of a relaxed episode. Like, the only big thing I think that came out of the last episode was definitely the whole exploration about Principal Wood and pushing aside those worries that he might be up to no good. So yes, but it should be very, very interesting, maybe tense, to see what happens in this episode. So with that said, let's get into episode number 15 of season 7 for Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Let's go.
It is Chloe, right?
Oh, you fudge you! Holy sh!
It's not enough.
Oh shit, that's the first...
So what?
It's my bone. Just drop it.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
goodness.
Wasn't proposing. Time goes by, girl gets
Sure,
hungry,
you weren't
know.
pushing
Oh,
things.
thank God.
What?
Demon.
Huh?
Oh!
DeHoffman says you die.
Of course he does.
Well, I say piss off to DeHoffman.
Yeah, it is.
That's why I've decided to give you this.
An arsenal of weapons, maybe?
An emergency kit. This bag belonged to my mother.
Oh!
A Slayer keepsake. I couldn't.
No, you have to. Technically, it
I
should have
mean,
been passed down directly to you through the years, but
You are the leading
after my mother died,
gal.
I guess I...
Oh,
I have made it myself.
Oh, I wouldn't have guessed.
Well, this is us, and this represents the first in various incarnations. And there's
Good
no
job, Andrew.
pattern
Good
to
job.
the naked eye yet, but the instant one emerges, yours truly is on it.
What the hell you call that potential? Try that in the field, you are dead. Drop and give me 20.
oh shh!
Push-ups, maggot.
Oh! Okay. Very, very strict, but...
I love this job. Did you see that?
Buffy tells me you've been, how shall I put it? Experimenting with the magics.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Nothing too heavy though. Just the lighter, safer stuff.
You were pushing the
If
Buffy
Kennedy
Willow
asks
ship
her
there for a
20
second
steps right
there,
there.
Wood.
See inside. So much cooler than Snyder.
Oh yeah, by a country mile.
And how's that working out for you?
In progress.
Well, you've had some time. You've been in Sunnydale, what?
Years.
Oh my goodness,
before
no!
Around.
I think we better get back upstairs.
Yeah, it's
Getting the full tour.
need to hydrate because the tension is getting, whew.
Yes.
Well, I've got a system. It's called flunking out. No, just kidding. I'm paying someone to do my work. I'm kidding. I love to see your eyeballs change color when you think he'll get a flunk out.
Holy sh! Oh my... Oh, was this the first?
Any of you. It's the first. Oh, let him. The only reason why Chloe offed herself was because she knew what you're not getting. I'm coming.
It's a losing
You're
battle.
going. All this?
Uh,
It's almost over.
And now he's trying to
Over here.
influence everyone.
All of you? But wait, I thought
They're not all gonna make it. She was weak. And anyone in a rush to be the next dead body I bury, it's easy. Just think of Chloe. You do what she did. And I'll find room for you next to her and Annabelle.
Oh my goodness.
I'm the
Buff.
Slayer. The one with the power. And the first has me using that power to dig our graves.
You're our leader, Buffy, as in follow the.
Well, from now on, I'm your leader, as in do what I say.
Jawohl.
Shit!
Don't try to forget, we're also your friends.
Everyone's getting cooked here.
Then why are you here? And aside from getting rescued, what is it that you do? It knows what we can do, and it's laughing. You want to surprise the enemy? Surprise yourselves. Force yourself to do what can't be done, or else we are not an army.
Yeah, it's
We're
not
just
to
a
let
bunch
the
of
first
girls waiting to be
intimidate you,
picked
isn't
off
it?
and buried.
Well, as a matter of fact, I haven't been quite relishing the kill the way I used to.
You were a better fighter then.
I did this for you.
She is really
The soul
tearing
changes,
into
it's what you
everyone.
wanted.
What I want is the Spike that's dangerous. The Spike that tried to kill me when we met.
Oh, you don't know how close you are to bringing him out.
I'm nowhere near him.
After demons, there came men. Men.
Oh my
found
goodness,
a
this is
girl.
very interesting.
The men took the girl to fight the demon. All demons. They chained her to the earth.
Oh.
And then
Ooh! Oh!
Buffy, you can't.
how will we get you back?
Find a way.
Oh! Okay!
She's gone.
Season
What
5
was that about an
finale
exchange?
flashback vibes, right? Oh.
Ah, this must be the exchange student.
Oh! Oh! Shh! Oh, is this another table that's just been...
What are you gonna do?
What I do best.
be dangerous? Oh. Oh. Holy I feel so bad for the repair bill of this house.
we don't even know where she went.
Oh, is this like the same place as in Restless?
Risk Willow's life and the rest of our lives to get Buffy back, or we leave her out there.
If we play it safe back here, Buffy could stay
It's
lost.
a very, very
You
big
missed her
risk.
everyone
but-
sucks but me speech. If she's so superior, let her find her own way back.
Okay, Anya, she didn't really say that, but go
Every
on.
second that Buffy's not here is.
This is like a play, like some shadow play, some non-reality
Immersion.
reenactment, hologrammy.
Oh!
And this is gonna help
Rude?
us how? The sand forms a circle, the circle acts as a barrier, and the barrier contains...
Apere.
Take days.
Donnie, you better put on some coffee. This could take a while.
Oh! Oh, dang.
What is this?
Oh, just like in the shadow thing.
Sisi tuabu ya shetani, roho ya shetani.
Oh, lovely.
Moyo
This is how you...
itengeneza muuaji huyu ndio.
Oh. This is how it all began.
Ulikuja
No, this isn't the way.
usipigane.
Oh, my fudge. Oh, Spike suiting up.
Where'd you get it?
New York.
Because he took it from his... Oh, fudge. Ah.
Screw it. Mighty forces, I suck at Latin, okay? But that's not the issue. I'm the one in charge, and I'm telling you, open that portal now!
It's not happening, Will.
Give her time, she's getting it.
Or something's getting her. Will, think you better back up a little.
Now, funnily enough, I was worried that Principal would be doing this to Spike, not the demon thing.
You violated that girl, made her kill for you because you're weak, you're pathetic, and you obviously have nothing to show me.
Yes, Buff! Simmer down! Oh, nice. Yeah. Mirror. That is not a face of comfort. Buff?
You told me. I'll see you in the morning.
I mean, you underestimated a bit of Willow. I hope this doesn't, cause any kind of dramatics or whatever. It's not like she meant to.
How you doing? Buffy, what did you see? What did they show you?
Oh! Oh, that's a lot of... That is a lot of, that is, quite the pickle. I mean, one Turrican was, bad enough. You've got an armada there. Shit. Okay, I'm out of answers. Like, unless they come out just one at a time, which I don't think that's going to be their strategy. Yeah. That is world ending. Yeah. I say it's funny, but you remember when in Checkpoint, when Buffy was told that Glory is a god, and we were like, well, this is going to be a bit of a... I think this is basically deja vu of that. Because, like I said, one Turrican was a bit of a handful, and now you're seeing thousands of them potentially. Huh. So good luck with that. So yeah, I thought this was a pretty interesting episode with a lot that I feel like was kind of revealed in terms of the origins of, I guess, the Slayer line, in terms of speeches, intensity, and yeah, it was a pretty interesting episode. I really enjoyed a lot of elements of it. I mean, there were some moments that were, like, I guess frustrating because of the situation, and you just don't want these characters to delve into a situation that bodes well for the first, if that makes sense. And I feel like there's going to be one bit in particular that's going to be quite divided in terms of the Buffy fandom, and I'll get to that in a moment. But this was a pretty interesting episode. Like I said, we got to see the origins, I guess, of the Slayer line, about how it was all created, and how we had these tribe men take a vulnerable girl and use her. Buffy rightfully called them out over their very sickening methods. And they corrupted her, and I feel like over time, with their methods, they of course became more humane until the point that they could, I guess, be able to speak and whatnot. I guess, because Buffy did talk about the transformation that she would undergo because of their very brutal and sickening methods. But yeah, it was really, really haunting and disturbing. Of course, we saw Buffy in chains, and that was in the position of how I guess that young woman came to be, basically, when they first created the Slayer abilities, so they could use her to fight for them, which is very, very garbage. And yeah, it's just very, very sickening because she wasn't given a choice. The first Slayer, she wasn't really given a choice at the end of the day, and they shoved her to they shoved their first Slayer out into the open to fight for them. That was it, really. Basically transforming her because they suck. So, and Buffy's speech to them was pretty neat because they needed to be told. And at the end of the day, she was right to not choose power over, I guess, knowledge, because not only was their method very, very sickening, but it can be quite defeating knowing that there's thousands of Turok-Han laying waiting, because she's now taken the first Slayer's message, that will never be a forgiving scene, because it will never, if I rewatch it, if I edit it, or when I edit it, of course, I will just skip to that. I'll just skip over that moment because, no, honestly, my soul left my body at that moment. But, this first Slayer said it's not enough. And, of course, we're reflecting back to the many Turok-Hans laying in waiting. And like I said, unless they come out one at a time, which unlikely, it's gonna be a bit of an ask, and there might be a way, but given that Buffy struggled facing one of them, and heck, that could be the weaker one, just to give Buffy a little test. We know how the first can get to the psychological advantage in that, so you never know. But as I digress, Buffy struggled with one of them, and now there's thousands. Now she has that knowledge of thousands. So, whilst it can be quite defeating, it's better than not knowing, I guess, because knowing them, even if she did get, some kind of power, some kind of, I guess, I would say juice, but that, with their very, very sickening methods, it's still, So, even if she did choose power, I guess, over knowledge, it would still play a bit of a disadvantage because they would probably not give her both anyway. So but I thought that the whole bit where Buffy met with those tribe people, very haunting, but also very powerful, with Buffy being able to give them the beating that they deserve, I guess, because of the fact that they corrupted. They took someone vulnerable and corrupted her. They changed her, and this was not from her own choice as well. So it's very, very sickening. So but like I said, the whole I guess shadow puppet thing was very, very trippy, but also very, very interesting. Like I said, it was very, very sad with how things came to be, especially with someone just completely vulnerable being taken in. But in terms of seeing the shadows move and whatnot, it was a very, very trippy and interesting experience that told a very, very sad story, really. So I thought that the whole shadow puppet situation was a pretty interesting concept. So though they did mention as well about Buffy being the last guardian of the Hellmouth. Now, I'm not sure if that means she's going to be the last stand, none of the potentials are going to survive, because Buffy knows that there's going to be deaths, but are they all going to fall to a demise is the question. But it's not the first time we've had some kind of like situation, whether it be the first Slayer or just anything in relation to the Slayer line that has an ounce of crypticness. So I feel like there's a bit of crypticness there about Buffy being the last Guardian, because it might not mean that she's going to be the last stand for the first. Then there might be survivors. It's all the case of some of you may die. And for Buffy, well, I guess going back to her speech, it might be a sacrifice she has to be willing to take, because otherwise the world is going to come to an end. So, I mean, Buffy did say that discreetly, and then the First decided to pour, with Chloe's death, the First decided to pour anguish even further, like pour salt on the wound by echoing what Buffy said about there's going to be deaths. So yeah, but let's talk about that speech, the speech that I'm pretty sure is going to have the comment section divided, because I can see both sides of things in terms of how Buffy may have been harsh, but also it's a case of Buffy's giving them a bit of a wake-up call. I mean, the First is no easy... Like, you can't just flick the First and the First is like, okay, I'm scared now. With the end coming, and seemingly the Hellmouth is affecting people, from what Principal Wood was saying about the hecticness that was going on in the school. With the Hellmouth, with everything going on, there's no room for complacency. And even Buffy said... outdoors when Kennedy was was taking things in a very drastic level, there will be deaths, and it's all about the case of what's going to happen when those deaths do arrive. Are the potentials going to have a bit of quake in their boots, I guess is the saying, and as tragic as the circumstances is with Chloe's suicide and how dark it was as well, this is what the First wants. The First wants the potentials to quiver. The First wants to have them at their most vulnerable. Because as soon as they do that, the First has won, and that's what Buffy is trying to instill in all of these potentials, that they need to they can't afford to invoke worry or fear or anything. They need to hit strong, if anything. You can't hold back, and you need to focus on, you can mourn later, essentially. That's what Buffy is saying, in my opinion, because she is saying that there needs to be a bit of a focus in terms of Chloe's suicide. And with the First, it's challenging the group with this defeatism, and I feel like it's a very interesting parallel with Buffy telling the potentials to you have to be focused and everything, etc. And Buffy being worried about, okay, well, there's thousands of Turok. I mean, yeah, she might be being realistic about her odds not looking too great now that she knows that there's thousands laying in waiting. But I feel like it's a very interesting parallel with how defeated the potentials was because of Chloe's suicide, and how the First got to her, especially worrying about which one of them is going to be next to be picked off. And Buffy being a bit dejected. I mean, you even saw how shaken she was when the tribe people gave her that knowledge. So, yeah. But still. So, yeah. So, like I said, it is a very sticky situation. And this is a situation where I'm very intrigued to see the comment section, because I can see why Buffy was not just in the right, but also in the wrong in regards to Lecture, the potentials, in regards to how, well, not just how Chloe was stupid, but also how they shouldn't hold back. If anything, they shouldn't let this get the best of them. Because they need to be in shape, they need to be focused, they can't take their eye off the ball in this situation. And the first is going to be winning if you do take your eye off the ball. The first will see that opportunity and take advantage, and the chances of this world falling to a demise expands if you let the first win. But also the potentials, like, they're not like Buffy in a sense as well, and like, they don't really they are not shaped like Buffy in a sense, so they do not have that experience and all of that, and this is a very, very hectic time, whereas Buffy has a bit more experience into her, and yeah, she was also thrown into this life when she first started out, so, you know, you can empathize there. Like, all of these potentials are being flung together, and they're facing off against something that not even season 1 Buffy could, you know, face off against, I guess. So, yeah, but the world is coming to an end, and there is no time to be a bit complacent. That's Buffy's mindset, and you know, she knows that people are going to die. She's accepted the grim reality that there is going to be deaths, but she cannot afford to waver at all. So, yeah, like I said, I can imagine that this is going to cause a bit of a split in terms of people's reactions, but yeah, I can see both sides of things with what Buffy said. So and then she went off with Spike, and with Spike, there is, I mean, even Spike said it. He doesn't have the taste for violence anymore, and then you saw him put on that leather jacket, which really pissed on Principal Wood's cereal, because obviously that was his mother's. And yeah, like I said, with Spike, he said that he doesn't feel the violence anymore, and Buffy noticed that, and there is that absence of Spike that she knew. So she feels this greater incentive to throw shade to Spike, because he is not the same. I mean, obviously he's not the same Spike with the soul being a factor that he was in season 2, but on a physical level, Buffy is expecting that in this fight against the first, and this is pushed, like with Chloe's suicide, with the first getting the psychological advantage into the potentials by saying, "Oh, remember what Buffy said," and end this worry about which one of us is going to be next, because it's picked off quite a few already. She is pissed. She is done. She is not holding back whatsoever. And there's going to be some hard balls thrown at the potentials, but they need to have their eyes focused, if that makes sense. So that's why I can see both sides to the situation. Yeah, it was very, very ruthless with what Buffy had to say. And even I was a bit startled with how she was kicking everyone, like even her friends. I mean, there was Willow, who was a bit on the defensive, but even Xander was like, let's not. But I think he was looking out for the potentials, especially with him being the heart. He knows how distressed these girls are being at the minute with the first, and with Buffy's tough love speech. And even when Xander was joking around with the puppets after the speech, Buffy wasn't even amused. She was like, seriously, are you really doing this? But nor does she have the time for Xander to be a security blanket for the potentials, if that makes sense, because the first is going to rip it away. So that's why that's why I feel like she was pretty argumentative to Xander's comments when he was defending when he was not really for Buffy's tough speech. So yeah, so it was quite startling to see Buffy really tear into everyone. But like I said, I can see both sides. I can see why she might have been right about being very, very ruthless to the potentials, but also I can see why she might needs to cut them some slack as well. So yeah, like I said, it's going to be a pretty interesting. Like when this comes out on Patreon / YouTube, it's going to be quite interesting to see what people have to say about this, because it is a situation where it can go both ways. So yeah, what was also tense was the Spike and Principal Wood standoff. So yeah, I was kind of expecting something to go off between them two. And whilst that standoff was intense, I thought it was going to be a bit more, but he's keeping his composure, I'm expecting. He knows what's at stake, and he doesn't need to cause any more unnecessary commotion, does he? So I feel like that's why he wasn't really up for beating the shit out of Spike. He can afford to be very, very stiff when in terms of confrontation with Spike, but yeah, so because Spike doesn't know that Wood is the child of the Slayer that he killed, the second Slayer that he killed. So yeah, but still, for Wood, he can still afford to be a bit stiff, but not cause any kind of unnecessary commotion at this point. So yeah, so I can understand why there wasn't any kind of match going on between Wood and Spike, because we're facing the first at the minute. This is a bigger priority, and I think, like I said, the first would see this as an opportunity to take advantage, really. So like it did take advantage of Principal Wood's emotions. So yeah, But yeah, this was a pretty interesting episode. There was also the whole Kennedy and Willow thing. Like, I'm still not sure about how I feel with Kennedy and Willow's relationship. I'm not sure if it's because it doesn't resonate to me like Oz and Tara's, connectivity with Willow, if that makes sense. Or if it's still the rushing, because I still think it's still rushed to this day. But there is still a kind of offness about their relationship, like especially with Kennedy's attitude to Willow. Like it does feel a bit off, especially since she was trying to stand up. I get it, stand up for Willow, but you don't want to underestimate Buffy, right? Like this is Buffy we're talking about, so yeah, but. She was I feel like she was underestimating how dangerous magic is, especially when it comes to Willow. But there was that continuous goading to Willow about using the magic. So yeah, and then she got whammied, and she was like, "I'm gonna go to my room or your room or whatever," and we'll talk. So yeah, I can understand because she might have underestimated stuff, but like I said, I don't know how to feel with their dynamic, because like I said, I feel like it doesn't resonate the same to I think I'm still not over Tara, but to be fair, I know that people in the comment section have said 2 decades on, I'm still not. So yeah, but for me, it doesn't have the same punch as Oz and Tara did. So with Tara, I could already, like when the seeds were being planted there, I didn't feel any kind of afterburn in regards to Oz. Whereas, I mean, it was quite sad, but this was, I didn't feel like. Whereas Kennedy, I'm still a bit, I'm not, I'm on the fence about it, if anything. So yeah, I don't know, but yeah, overall, an episode that had quite a bit going on for it, and it's going to be very interesting to see how Buffy does proceed with this knowledge that there's thousands of Uber vamps below, and because one was bad enough, now we got thousands, so good luck with that, like I said. But yeah, I will see you guys next time. Hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. You can check out my videos on the right if you want to check out more of my content. You can also subscribe to my media feeds and channel if you want to. Hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. Hope you guys take care, and I will see you guys next time. Toodles!